Hey y'all, Bloodwing here, and welcome back to another episode of Rednecks and Pigskins, Blood on the Gridiron. Hey, I got it right that time. Look at that. My gosh. With me as always is Minding Freedom.
Shut up and take my money.
You got money? Give it.
No.
And also with us as always is my son, J Kid,
What's up?
who's still feeling a little out of the under the weather, so give him a little break today. Just a little break. But we're gonna talk about that in a little while. Hush minding. I'm trying to keep a straight face. So
I didn't say anything.
yeah, I thought I heard you chuckle.
No, that was J Kid.
Oh. Anyway, so another week under the belt. Been an interesting week. What do you got for us in the news, Minding?
Oh, the news.
Yeah, the news.
God, I'm so well prepared as always.
Well, the guy takes a week off and then comes in halfway through because he claims his laptop's messing up last week. And he comes in and he's forgotten everything. Jesus.
I'm starting to get old. You know this feeling. I'm 24 now. Come on, give me a break. Actually, there isn't that much from what I can see. There are a few injury related things, but it's not like it was a slow news week for the NFL.
There was a couple things.
Yeah, okay. You go ahead.
At least Dwight Freeney, after their defense has already been taking hits, Detroit picked him up off of waivers. And Kansas City signed Darrelle Revis.
Really?
Who's not played at all this year. And after their showing on Sunday, which we'll talk about, they kind of needed him.
It's too bad Freeney's not still in his prime. He could do your team some good.
Yeah, I don't understand why they claimed him. I don't think he'll help them really at all, but...
No. Well, at this point, actually, heck, 2 years ago, I said he should retire. But
To me, it makes less sense of Seattle releasing him than it does Detroit picking him up.
yeah.
At this point, Seattle's defense could use all the help it can get.
No kidding.
I'm looking through the transactions right now if there's anything else. It's kind of interesting, maybe. Oh yeah. Well, we can talk about the Texans' backfield. Dante Foreman was placed on injured reserve, and they claimed Andre Ellington, who started the season in Arizona. They claimed him off waivers. I mean,
That's not bad for them.
I think Andre Ellington compared to Dante Foreman is a downgrade, but then again, you can't do a lot about players being injured.
Right. And Ellington's serviceable.
I mean, he's the backup running back anyway. Lamar Miller is the number one there, so.
Right.
But it's some names and some names you probably have heard before. And the Oakland Raiders have fired their defensive coordinator, Ken Norton Jr.
Took them long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was just thinking.
Oh, and there were two more stories. The Bears have had a change at the most scoring position. That is the kicker. They waived Connor Barth or released Connor Barth and signed Queiroz Santos, who last year played for the Chiefs or kicked for the Chiefs.
Were they having that much trouble out of Barth?
I think he didn't exactly play well in week 11, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone should know, it's J-Kid. Probably saw the game because it was against the Lions.
No, J.K. was in bed sick.
Aw. Come on, get your shit together. But he only made 1 of 2 field goals. I have to see. He made a 23-yarder. Boo-hoo. That's not a feat. And he missed a
Get it? Because he's a kicker.
46-yarder to tie the game with 8 seconds left. And the other news is the Broncos also had some staff changes. They fired their offensive coordinator, Mike McCoy. New offensive coordinator is Bill Musgrave, who, from what I can see, was the quarterback's coach, was promoted, and they promoted Clint Kubiak. I'm pretty sure he's related in some form to Gary Kubiak. They named him the new quarterback's coach.
It's not going to help. It seems to me like purely a cosmetic move.
Yeah, I mean, with that quarterback group you have there, what do you expect? Come on. And yeah, he is. Clint Kubiak is the oldest son of Gary Kubiak.
I figured he was some kind of relative.
Yeah, oldest son. He's just 30 years old. He's a fairly young guy. But yeah, Bill Musgrave, new offensive coordinator. I don't think he can do much either about that team, but you know, we'll see how that works out.
Too little, too late, maybe.
Yeah, probably. But that's all I have for transactions this week.
All right. Do you have anything else, J-Kid?
Nope.
That was it? Okay. Well, I guess we'll get right into the scores for last week. And switch tabs. First up, Jaguars 19, Browns 7. Anybody
Nobody's
shocked?
really surprised.
No. Yeah.
I mean, every time you hear Jaguars 19, well, the first thing I would think is, oh, they probably lost. But then you know, oh, they played the Browns. Oh, okay. Yeah, 19 points was enough, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little rough getting used to them being a winning team after all these years of being losing. I kind of think of it as back in the old days, the Buccaneers when they were still in them cream orange uniforms. Oh Lord, have mercy, they were ugly.
Oh yeah.
But they were everybody's whooping boy back then. And then they turned things around. But yeah, in a sense, I'm glad to see it for the Jaguars, even though they are in my division. It's nice to see a bottom feeder team like that rise to the top.
He's hoping the same thing happens for the Colts.
Yeah, well, it's a little late this year, I think. But next year, yeah, I got my fingers crossed.
Not going to happen.
Of course, we've been here before on the Colts.
Yeah.
Before Peyton, well, before, yeah. Harbaugh. My mind skipped a beat there.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the expected points summary, which is what I just basically love to evaluate a game by. I mean, it was a game of defense. Like every part of defense had a positive expected point, created positive expected points. So even the Jaguars pass offense, Jaguars rushing offense, Browns passing offense, obviously, and Browns rushing offense, and the turnovers, everything I mean, obviously the turnovers, they're always in favor of the defense. But every part of play was basically dominated by the defenses. It was just that the Jaguars offense was less shitty than the Browns offense, which, I mean, you could have expected.
Yeah, when you talk about the Jaguars, I mean, you think their defense. You don't think their offense.
Exactly.
Cleveland, you never know. You know they're going to suck. You just don't know which side of the ball is going to suck worse.
That is true. Okay. Next up, speaking of the Bucks, Buccaneers 30, Dolphins 20.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think anybody's surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really. I mean, we thought before that it would be a close and very shitty game, and it was with 3 minutes left, or with 4 seconds left, the game was tied. With 4 seconds left, Patrick Murray kicked basically a game-winning field goal. And then what the heck happened there? What kind of last play was that?
I have no idea.
Apparently, there was a fumble recovery in the end zone with 0 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? And it doesn't show up in the play-by-play.
I believe they tried to do one of those lateral.
Oh.
And then they screwed it up in their own end zone. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The old Kansas City play.
What least surprised me about this game is Miami fell so far behind that Jay Cutler faked another injury.
Okay, I have it right here. It is in the play-by-play. Murray kicks 40 yards. That was a very short kick from the Tampa Bay 35 to Miami 25. Williams to Miami's 18 from -7. But he ran back and then threw the lateral. Okay, he ran back 7 yards, then threw the lateral to Jarvis Landry to the 15. He fumbled. That was recovered by Grant at the 13. He went 10 yards back, fumbled. If you need any explanation why the Dolphins suck this year, look at that play.
That sounds like an entire special teams unit that needs to lose their job.
I don't think it was the special teams unit itself on the field, because, I mean, Jarvis Landry doesn't play special teams usually. So this is, or Damian Williams, who's their number 1 running back. I mean, they pretty much got everyone who can catch a ball, who can throw a ball, who can do anything with the ball. They got 11 men on the field, and we're like, okay, try to go for the lateral, and they really screwed it up.
And they still couldn't hold on to the ball.
Yeah, they still fumbled twice on the same play.
Give credit to Matt Moore, though. He did bring them back in this game. And he's the guy that should have been starting all year for him.
Yeah. If you look at his stats from the game, well, 17 of 28 for 282 yards and a touchdown. Quarterback rating of over 100. I mean, that's impressive.
Cutler went out and Miami completely rallied around him.
Yeah. I wanted to add that is impressive for a Dolphins backup quarterback. I mean, you know, Tannehill could do that in one game or the other. He always has those games where he's actually good at some point in the season. But I didn't expect that from Matt Moore. What is that kind of noise in the background there? I think-
He has an interstate that runs not too far from the back of his house.
I see.
It's like right out my window.
What a lovely place to live.
Yeah. It is my backyard.
I mean, not everyone
Okay.
can say they have an interstate for a backyard.
Right?
All right. Next up. Oh boy. Ravens 23, Packers 0. Minding?
Go ahead, Minding.
9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9.
That was worth it.
Can we please go on to the next game?
Oh, no. No. We got to have some kind of commentary here.
What kind of commentary?
Your thoughts on the game?
You know, I really can't remember what happened.
Oh, the amnesia defense.
No, the alcohol defense. No, I don't know if I mentioned that before on the stream, but I don't drink any alcohol, so that defense falls flat. But
Well, here, maybe this will help spur your memory. Brett Hundley, 21 of 36, 239 yards, which doesn't look too bad until you add in the 3 interceptions.
yeah, he really wasn't good at taking care of the ball.
And he got sacked 6 times, if I recall.
Let's see.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. I'm just happy that some other quarterback we're gonna talk about later was even worse, because I don't want to play the jingle over my team. So I'm very happy that someone was so bad he got benched. Which is not an option with Brett Hundley. I mean, the guy behind him is Joe Callahan. Have you ever heard of him?
Nope.
See, there's a reason for that. He was like, Joe Callahan was good in preseason, but we all know preseason doesn't count. So, meh.
And not to toot my own horn here, but the trend continues. When I stand alone on my pick, I'm usually correct. The only one to pick the Ravens in this game.
Yeah, that's right. You were. I have no idea why I picked the Packers. Must have been having an Alzheimer's event, but
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
What are these sound clips?
I have so many of them.
oh Lord, we're in for a good time.
I thought that was the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
But for me, the reasoning was, I mean, the Ravens are, or were at least before that game, kind of shit. You know, and the Packers just came off a big win over the Bears. I mean, okay, yeah, granted it's the Bears, but you know, maybe that could have been the start to something. But I gotta say though, I'm still hopeful. We're gonna lose we're gonna lose this week. Like, come on. We're gonna play it at the Steelers. What do you want me to tell? But after that we play the Buccaneers and the Browns. Those are 2 very beatable teams. Very beatable. And
So is Baltimore.
Aaron Rodgers looking better with his shoulder. He's been practicing. at least a bit, like as much as he can. But he's in a speedy recovery, and he can return just before week 15 to play against the Panthers. And if Aaron Rodgers, dare I say it, runs the table again, those last 3 games, Packers would be give me a second. Well, if they win, they're 5-5 now, right? Yeah, they're gonna lose to the Steelers, and then they win out 2 with Hundley. I mean, against the easy opponents, and 3 by Rodgers. That would be a 10-6. That's, I mean, that might be the playoffs. Might be a wild card, but it's a stretch. It's not impossible. That's what I'm saying. It's a long stretch, but Rodgers ran the table before, and this time it's only 3 games, not 6.
The next 6 minutes says Green Bay was expected to play the Baltimore Ravens, but Green Day showed up to the field. Conclusion foregone.
No, Green Day would have scored.
J-Kid,
You're fired.
I know what he's saying. He's saying, you didn't hire me, so you can't fire me. And G. Bonner, I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good too, buddy. And yes, please do hit that like button.
can we now?
All right,
go
that's
on to
enough
the
beating
next
up.
game? Yeah.
Yeah, we get to move on to something a little more sunshiny. The Lions 27, the Bears 24.
What's sunshiny about that?
Well, they did at least win that one.
I guess, but it's the Bears, so.
Monk says minding is doing yoga with all that stretching. Okay, so
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Lions 27, Bears 24.
It's a game they should have won. They should have won it more handily than they did. I mean, it took the Bears kicker missing a field goal at the end to keep them in it. Like, had that game gone to overtime, I think they lose.
Can you please explain to me where that Lions defense was?
What Lions defense? Have you not
yeah,
been watching them all year?
I mean, I'm talking about the Lions defense of earlier years.
What Lions defense of earlier years?
This is insane to me. I'm seeing this, and the Bears were better in 3 of the 3 of the 4 categories that are not special teams. They were better at better at passing on offense than the pass defense of the Lions. Okay, granted, what pass defense of the Lions? They were better at running the ball against the Lions' run defense, and they were better at defending the run against the Lions. The only thing they gave up is the pass against Stafford. And they still managed to lose.
Well, they are the Bears. I mean, even as bad as our teams are, luckily we still have the Bears.
Yeah, wow, it comes down. That is interesting. It comes down to field goals and extra points. The Bears gave up 7.16 points over the Lions on extra points and field goals from both teams. So basically, You could say Matt Prater won the Lions that game.
As he usually does. That's why he got that big extension.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Next, Rams 7, Vikings 24.
That was unexpected.
It was. Certainly was.
I'm not surprised that Minnesota won. I'm surprised they won by so much.
I'm surprised the Rams offense didn't show up at all.
Yep.
Well, let's see here. Yeah. Jared Goff was 23 of 37 for 225 yards, 0 TDs, 0 interceptions.
And Todd Gurley wasn't running all too well. 15 attempts, 37 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, sure, 9.7 fantasy points, but then again, he scored those 9.7 points with a touchdown. So usually what you would expect from someone like Gurley is, I don't know, 100 yards and a touchdown? Something like that. Maybe 2 in a good game, but not against the Vikings defense, obviously, but you would expect him to go for at least 80, 90 yards.
Yeah.
They held him to 37.
Yeah, not a red letter day for him, didn't look like.
And good for the Vikings putting up that many points on that defense.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
That was no mean feat.
I don't want to praise the Vikings too much,
Yeah.
because after all, it is the Vikings. So,
They've quietly won 6 straight after a rough start.
yeah.
G. Bronner, no, that is my son, not my son-in-law. He's blood related, much to his chagrin. They would ask him.
Much to everyone's.
But yeah, and Melissa Carly was sure to let me know all about it in Twitter, because she's a Vikings fan. So,
Oh God.
but yeah, I was a little taken aback by that one. Next up, Cardinals 21, Texans 31.
I told you the Cardinals were bad.
Yeah.
I told you before the season the Cardinals were bad. They lost to the Tom Savage led Texans. Want to know anything more?
I mean, did anybody really argue that the Cardinals were bad?
Yes, Bloodwing did.
Early
I
in the
recall
season.
all of us saying that Arizona, up until maybe 2 weeks ago, had been playing up or down depending on who they were playing.
Yeah.
And now they're not even doing that. They're just stinking the place up. I mean, still putting up 21 points. That would have won against Jacksonville.
I mean, putting up 21 points. I mean, I said in the past the Texans defense was good. But for the sake of this argument,
Yeah. The only
it's a Texans defense without JJ Watt. So
Who is their defense?
I mean, Clowney had 2 sacks. They had 2 picks. And give me a say. Oh no, the 2 fumble recoveries were by the 3 fumble recoveries were all by the offense. Oh God. They had 3 fumbles but all recovered. No, 4 fumbled but 1 lost only. Wow. The Texans offense 4 fumbles, and the Cardinals defense only managed to recover 1.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a little.
And they're still
Go ahead.
playing Blaine Gabbert, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So you gave up 21 points to Blaine Gabbert. That's rough.
He scored all 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He threw
That's rough.
for 3 touchdowns. That is kind of impressive.
Yeah, 22 of 34 for 257 yards, 3 TDs, and 2 interceptions.
And probably the player of the game is someone I genuinely never heard before. Ricky Seals-Jones. Only had 3 catches for 54 yards, 2 of them for touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
If I don't know your name and you score 2 touchdowns in an NFL game, you deserve to be called the player of the game.
Yeah, the only real shock in this to me is I'm surprised that Texas scored as many points as they did without their star quarterback. Not surprised that they won, but I didn't expect them. Even the Cardinals, I didn't expect them to hang 31 points.
They do have 2 very good running backs with Lamar Miller and Dante Foreman. Well, had, because like we said earlier, Dante Foreman now on injured reserve. But in this game they had 2 very good running backs. So I think that's in part the reason for it.
Yeah, and he had a not a stellar, but a pretty decent day. 10 carries, 65 yards for 2 TDs.
Yeah.
I mean, averaging 6.5 yards a carry in a pass-heavy NFL. That's pretty stellar.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Okay. Next was the other bit of sunshine I think you were referring to a while ago. Chiefs 9, Giants 12.
Wait, who of us was referring to that?
Jake Kidd earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Giants fan, so I'm glad to see that, but I'm shocked as heck.
Yeah, how? Oh, I see how. Yeah. A lot of field goals.
Yeah, this game was ugly.
Oh, God.
I was watching. I didn't get to see the game, obviously, but I was watching the highlights. The highlights for this game included field goals and first downs. That was it.
And probably the only extra point in the game being missed. Am I right?
It didn't even show that.
Oh.
This was highlights, not lowlights. There'd have been a whole lot more lowlights from this game than there were highlights.
I mean, basically the whole game was a big low light. So even the highlights are low lights in this.
Yeah. Yeah, Corey, I'm sure you're pretty pleased about this, bud. He's out in the chat. Yeah, I was shocked.
I mean, at this point, it seems like the Chiefs are just. I mean, they start. What did they start with? 5-0, 6-0. What was it?
Yeah, 6-0.
6-0. See, and now they lost 4 straight. How? How do they stink up the place so much?
I don't know.
No, they were 5-0. They were 5-0, not 6-0.
Eli didn't have a stellar day, although he didn't throw any picks, which is good. Good thing for him. It was only 19 of 35 for 205 yards.
I'm looking at their schedule right now. I mean, they beat the Patriots week 1. They beat the Eagles. Okay, they beat the Chargers. Come on. They beat the Redskins. They beat the Deshaun Watson-led Texans. Then they lose at home to the Steelers. After they beat the Eagles at home. And we all know the Steelers on the road are shit. Then they lose on a last-second play at the Raiders. Okay, was a night game. Can happen. They beat the Broncos. Come on. They lose to the Cowboys, who aren't really that good this season. and now they lose to the Giants?
Yeah.
Well, when you only score 9 points.
Yeah. At this point, it's a downward spiral, basically. I mean, next week they're gonna play the Bills. If they keep on going down like that, they're gonna I don't know, they're gonna score 6 points and concede 24.
And Alex,
Tyrod Taylor is back.
Alex Smith had a very un-Alex Smith type day. He threw 2 picks, 27 of 40 for 230 yards.
Actually, that's a very Alex Smith November day.
Yeah,
For November day, that is very Alex Smithy.
Didn't he play like the first half of the season without a pick, or am I thinking of somebody else?
No, you're absolutely correct. But he always fucks up in November every time, every year, always. This is what Alex Smith does every November. He basically he forgets how to play.
And what are the Chiefs doing having Travis Kelce throw the football?
I saw that too. I don't know.
Far and away, well, maybe not far and away their best receiver because of Tyreek Hill, but he's still your best receiver, and you have him throwing the ball. What are you doing?
It's called a trick play.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
Look.
Oh, for 1 with an interception.
Yeah, that happens.
That's why you don't score touchdowns.
The thing is, if it went good, everyone would say, "Oh, what a great play call! What a great idea!" It didn't go well. Now everyone say, "Why you do this?" I mean,
Not everybody would have said that was a great idea. I would have still said it was stupid.
I know. We all know you are the only one, the special one. We all know that by now. But most people, especially the people who know a thing or two about football.
You know any of those?
says
I
says the
see
boy
one-
that's been watching football, what, 4 or 5 years?
I've got almost 30 years on you.
That is a fact. I haven't told the story, but that's, yeah, he's been a huge football fan since he was 3.
Look, the age argument doesn't fit here. Okay, I've seen teachers who were teaching for 30 years who were shit, and I've seen other teachers who were teaching for 5 years who were great teachers. It's the same with football.
Not even close to the same with football, but okay.
Yeah, but could those teachers throw a pass? That's what I was saying.
I'm pretty
Travis
sure
Kelce can't.
Evidently not.
I'm gonna go on record. I'm pretty sure I would throw a better pass than J Kidd.
I've seen him throw a pass. He throws a pretty good pass. Now, me on the other hand, yeah, I don't.
Look, that's not even a debate, Bloodwing.
Yeah.
Come on. But
I can throw a baseball or a softball. Football, I never mastered. But yeah, Jake Kidd throws a pretty good football.
again, who tells you I don't?
Because you're German.
The heck?
Wow. He said, "Go kick a soccer ball, you scrub."
That's right.
Next
And
game.
he's speechless. Oh.
I mean, wow. Wow.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
He's,
Got out of hand fast.
he's thinking, what the heck did I get into? All right. Okay, next up, we have Redskins 31, Saints 34.
Only thing that really surprised me by this is Redskins put up 31 points.
Yeah.
And they got it to overtime.
Yeah, that was going to be my next.
I was faster. Who's the
Yep.
expert now?
Yeah.
Don't know what to say.
Well, I'm trying to remember. This is one of those games I don't remember who I picked. I'm pretty sure I picked the Saints, but I don't rightly recall.
Pretty sure we all picked the Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean that was a game without passing or without pass defenses. Without basically, they were playing without any secondary.
Well, the
Both
Saints
teams.
haven't had a defense all season.
Yeah, true. But I mean, the Redskins. I mean, they were supposed to have this lockdown corner called Josh Norman.
The epitome of overrated.
See, that's the one thing I'll agree on with you. The one thing. Josh Norman is incredibly overrated, yeah. But he's, everyone's like, yeah, Josh Norman, this lockdown. I love the lockdown corner. Yeah, no, really not.
All right. Got anything else to say about that one?
No.
No.
Bills 24, Chargers 54.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Obviously.
Wow.
And now, the Jay Cutler Award for Worst Quarterback Play of the Week.
And this time we have a serious contender for the worst quarterback play of the season.
Oh.
With Nathan Peterman. 6 of 14, 66 yards, 5 interceptions.
Here's my question. Did you actually play him in your fantasy?
No comment.
Did he get you negative points?
No comment.
Of course!
Of course he did.
Poor
I mean,
guy.
why the heck did I decide to play him, of all people?
Even after you asked our advice.
Because you know so much about football.
Look, everyone's entitled to be wrong once or twice.
I was once.
See? You said the Cardinals could be in contention for a wild card before the season. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty far off the mark.
Well, it's not like I'm saying it now.
Wait a second. Monk says in chat, why the hell did I put up a backup quarterback against a top defense? In what world are the Chargers a top defense? I'm not saying they're a shit defense. They're decent.
They
But
might be a
in
top
what
defense in their division.
Yeah. But they're not a top defense. Come on.
54 points, though. My goodness.
I mean, when you get 6 interceptions,
5.
you're going to put up a lot of points. Did Tyrod not come in and throw one?
Nope. Tyrod came in and threw a touchdown, but no interception.
Yeah.
He
Nathan
actually had a pretty decent game.
Pick 2.
Yeah.
But he had a fumble he lost.
Okay, that's what it was. But still, that many turnovers, you're going to put up a healthy amount of points.
Yeah.
And here's
Even having Phillip Rivers.
here's the kicker. Nathan Peterman threw 5 interceptions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He only threw the ball 14 times.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I can look. I'm gonna look this up right now. I really want to know this. This might be the highest interception percentage in basically by anyone who has at least thrown, I don't know, 10 attempts in a game. I'm trying to get this done here. It's gonna take a minute or two, so you can go on and talk.
I mean, what more do we have to talk about this game?
Well, I
Okay,
am curious because it feels like the Chargers might be getting hot at the right time. Are they still in contention or?
Oh, I'm sure they are
Yeah.
for their division.
Yeah.
I mean, Kansas City's not playing well. Denver's not playing well. Oakland's not playing well.
Yeah, I mean they are 4-6. That in contention, I'd guess so. Yeah.
If they continue winning,
Sorry, 5-6. Because I mean that's a game we will talk about later. But I mean they're in second place in their division right now. If the Chiefs keep on losing the way they have been losing the last 4 out of 5 games, yeah, Chargers are in contention.
I'll tell you how surprising this is to some people, though. The other day, well, it was right after the game, someone mentioned to Monkey in the chat of their live stream about the Chargers winning, and he was like, "Oh, did they?" He didn't even watch. He didn't have any idea.
Wow. I have to think about it right now. 5 interceptions of 14 plays, 14 passes, 14 attempts. That's over 30% of your wow.
it took you that long to figure that out.
I'm not the fastest, but actually, it's not a record. It's not a record. It happened like over 35% of your throws being intercepted happened 7 times. But the last time before Nathan Peterman was in 1973 by a certain Archie Manning.
Sounds about right.
Who threw the ball 13 times, was picked 5 times.
All
Yeah,
right.
it sounds like Eli takes more after his dad than he does his brother, doesn't it?
and the
Well-
record for most interception for fewest pass attempts per interception with at least 10 attempts. I mean, we got to have some qualifier in there. I mean, otherwise Travis Kelce would qualify. Belongs to a few people. Tom O'Malley in 1950 for the Packers. Bobby Thomason in 1953 for the Eagles. Sonny Jurgensen in 1963 for the Eagles. And Ed Baker in 1972 for the Texans. 3 of them with 4 picks on 10 attempts, and Tom O'Malley for the Packers in 1950, 6 picks on 15.
Sonny Jurgensen. Boy, that's a name I haven't heard in years.
Yep, he holds a record, but not a good one.
Next game.
Next up, we have Bengals 20, Broncos 17.
Well, we were wrong on this one.
Yeah, we didn't factor in the Osweiler factor. We didn't account for that.
And we both thought the Broncos defense would bounce back. That didn't happen.
No, it didn't. Let's see. Andy actually had not a terrible night. 15 of 25 for 154 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I mean, most of the time he just handed the ball to Mixon. I mean,
yeah.
But
Who didn't do a lot with it. Mixon didn't, but
I mean, again, if I look at the expected points, like the only how do I say this? The only part of the game for the or the only part on offense from both teams that was actually positive was the Bengals passing game. Interesting. Mostly because Andy Dalton threw for 3 touchdowns. That does a lot regarding your expected points. But I mean, apart from that, it seems to be or it seems to have been a pretty shitty game to watch.
Yeah.
I've been wondering the
No,
same
no.
thing, Monk.
Yeah, that's
Nobody on that defense can cover anybody.
Oh, you could see chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say what he said. And we talked about that I think last week. That what's happened to the Broncos defense.
It just fell off the edge of the world. Like everybody, Talib, Chris Harris, Bradley Roby, they're all just getting burnt. And they've basically had no pass rush.
Yep.
I mean, with Andy Dalton, you rattle him a little bit, and he's going to give you the ball back. And they couldn't do that.
Let's see. I'm seeing 2 sacks. There was a couple of people with 5 tackles, but after that, it drops off sharply. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, tackles, man. Like you come up when the damage is done. Great job.
Right. But
1 sack from Shane Ray, 1 from Derek Wolfe. That's it.
yeah,
Oh, and a forced fumble by Aqib Talib. Wow. Not recovered, obviously. That's shit. Let's say it as it is. That is shit.
It is.
Yeah.
Especially for a defense that was highly vaulted coming into the season.
Exactly. All right. Well, I guess we'll just continue wondering the rest of the season what happened to their defense. Next game.
Put them on a milk carton.
Because they missing. All right. Patriots 33, Raiders 8.
That's a score I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah. Not often you see people.
Why the heck did they go for 2 with 30 points down?
To close the gap? I don't know.
with 11 minutes 43 left in the game, 30 points down. You're trying to close the gap. Yeah.
Put them down by 28.
No. So they scored the touchdown, came within 24, and then went for the 2-point conversion. Like, why? That doesn't make sense.
They were obviously hoping for a miracle.
My guess is rather that Jack Del Rio was just like, nah, we lost it anyway. We can try something. Because I mean, if you are good at converting those 2-point conversions, it might come in handy at some point. You know, and Jack Del Rio is someone who likes to go for 2. He's not a shy coach. He's not, oh, let's better play it safe, take the field goal, take the extra point. No, he likes to go for it. If the opportunity is there, if there's some kind of justification for it.
Did you guys see the crowd?
No.
Do you recall arguing that this was going to be a home game for Oakland when I was trying to tell you it was going to be a home game for New England?
I remember that conversation, yeah.
Yeah, it was a home game for New England.
Yeah.
Like everybody in that stadium was rooting for New England.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay.
This was that Mexico
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, Mexico City. And Oakland's
Basically,
already been playing bad enough that the last thing they needed was a
a
home
nine,
game that
a
wasn't a home
nine,
game.
a ninth road game.
And yeah, Monk, I will admit it, before the season, I thought the Raiders were going places. And at the beginning of the season they still looked like it, but not for a while now.
Yeah, I think Derek Carr is still not 100% after the injury he had. I still think there are some issues there.
And
He's
they
not
need
playing
a
the same way
secondary.
he played last year. They need a whole defense. Like they need 10 players around Khalil Mack.
Well, they still got Bowman.
Oh yeah. Okay, they need 9 players around Mack and Bowman.
Yeah.
That's true. They acquired Bowman. Yeah, but still 9 more players to go.
A secondary though, and I think their defense is serviceable. As it stands right now, they might as well not even
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah. Maybe it would have been clever for them if they went after Darrell Revis. Just putting that out there. I mean, now he's gone. He's with the Chiefs now, but maybe he would have helped the Raiders if, the Raiders had called him.
He would have been a definite upgrade to whatever they have or don't
Yeah.
have, however you look at it.
All right. Next, we have Eagles 37, Cowboys 9.
Did you see what happened after some kickoff? I think after the first score by the Eagles, they had to change kickers.
No, I didn't see that.
I don't remember what the kid's name was. Oh God, if I knew, damn, he's a linebacker, and oh yeah, there he is, Kamu Grugier Hill. Didn't play a single snap on defense, but 21 snaps on special teams. He's a linebacker who, from what I know, was first off is the backup kicker, Elliott, and he is. I think he was a kicker in high school or something. He's like a kicker that looks like Janikowski, I mean, he's a linebacker.
Sturdy build.
After all. Very sturdy, yeah. But then again, he's a linebacker. Like he isn't just he's strong as well, and he's quick. So he's not like Janikowski, just I don't know, a fat ass with a good leg. Dude can tackle. It was so fun to watch.
Well, being Colts fans, we're kind of used to that with Pat McAfee. God, I wish he was still playing. But
oh yeah. Just today, I saw the recovered surprise onside kick against, I think it was the Texans, where he just kicked it 10 yards forward and then fell on it. Just today, I saw that again. I was like, God, I miss Pat McAfee.
yeah, the punter we have now is not bad. He's had a few good punts, but it's just not the same without Pat, because you never knew what he was going to do on the field.
Yeah.
He was such a nut. But
oh yeah,
Eagles 37. yeah, I follow him on Twitter. Eagles 37. I'm honestly not surprised they hung 37 points on the Cowboys at all. I'm a little surprised the Cowboys didn't get a few more points. I didn't think they'd make it close, but a little shocked at 9 points. But
this pretty much puts the stamp on the division.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do when your first or your only kicker basically leaves the game with a concussion, and your backup kicker is a linebacker? They went for it on 4th downs instead of kicking field goals. they always went for the 2-point conversion. That's how 37 points happened. They converted the 2-pointer 3 of 4 times. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good ratio there.
Yeah, but you're right. This the NFC East is definitely the Eagles, and it's theirs to lose. So
Oh yeah. And they're not gonna. I mean,
no,
we're heading into week 12 now, or we already had a few games in week 12, but I think the Eagles didn't play yet. But if you look at it, I mean, the Eagles are gonna play the Bears, so let's say they're gonna win. I mean, that's not a stretch. So they would be 10-1, and the Cowboys and the Redskins both played already. Cowboys lost, Redskins won, so they're both 5-6. So the Eagles are 5 games ahead with 5 games to play.
oh, the Giants will catch them.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay. Next up, Falcons 34, Seahawks 31.
I'm not really surprised by this outcome either.
Yeah, I mean, I was picking the Seahawks. I'm pretty sure I did, at least. But we all knew it was going to be a close game. It was every team had a shot, and in the end, the Falcons basically came up with it.
There's really no defense on either team, and two typically high-powered offenses. The only thing that really stood out for me is the bounce back for Seattle's offense. Like the past couple games, they haven't been playing all that well, and then they turned it around this week.
Yeah, but
which they need.
Have you seen? I mean, I'm pretty sure both of you have the box scores open and everything.
I don't. I'm on my phone.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I have 'em.
When you have you seen that play that is there listed as a completed pass by John Ryan?
No.
Have you seen that play? John Ryan is the punter, and he's also the holder. And they were trying to run a fake field goal.
Oh, the shovel pass.
And they ran it for a 4-yard loss.
Yeah, I was going to say it would have had to have been a shovel pass because it's 1 for -4.
The running back was hit immediately.
Yeah, he caught the ball, turned around, and boom, he was taken down.
It looked like it was meant to be a trap block, and it was no kind of block. They just let that defensive lineman straight through.
Yeah.
Goodness. All right. Next up. Oh, we're going to see a few repeat teams here because we're into the Thursday games. Vikings 30, Lions 23. That's the one you went to bed on, isn't it, J-Kid?
Yeah, with like 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. A terrible first quarter for the Lions. I mean, not a great first half at all. They played better in the second half like they usually do. But they played like the Lions on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like the Vikings to win that game.
Yeah.
And with a chance to move within 2 games, I believe, or maybe even a game. But instead, Minnesota pushes it to a 3-game lead in that division. And Stafford looked awful. He had an opportunity to tie the game up with a little over 3 minutes left. Had Golden Tate wide open, nobody out in front of him, and just absolutely missed him. And then throws a pick the very next play. It looked like the Lions.
Yeah, for a team that perennially plays on Thanksgiving Day, like the Lions do, fact, I think they were the first Thanksgiving Day team before Dallas picked up on it. Anyway, they don't have much luck on that day.
It's because they're Lions.
Oh, and Corey is saying in chat that Thanksgiving touchdown celebration, though. Yeah, have you seen
Stupid.
this?
Which, of course, I saw it. It's
loved
stupid.
I hate the Vikings, like probably as much as you do, J-Kid.
Right.
But I love that celebration. I think that was a great idea. That was very festive and everything. And since I'm from a country that doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving, and I really hate that, and I'm really looking forward to living in the US and celebrating Thanksgiving every year. I think it's a great holiday. I love that celebration. Just everyone's sitting around an imaginary table, and this one play, I think, who was it? Stephon Diggs, who jumped in
Yeah.
and played the turkey.
Yep.
I love that.
I don't know. We've had this conversation before. I'm not a big fan of celebrations. Let's just act like you've been there before, guys.
but come on, for the holiday, come on, a bit festive. I think that was totally okay.
Stupid.
Only because it was against your Lions.
No, not at all.
No, I'm pretty sure he went into this expecting that, yeah. All right. Our other Thanksgiving game, or Thanksgiving
We have two
Day
more.
game. Well, Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
Chargers 28, Cowboys 6. There we got our Chargers winning again. So, yeah.
And Dallas losing again.
Yeah. Why didn't the Cowboys show up? What happened? Well, I'm pretty sure I know what happened. It's called Ezekiel Elliott being gone.
Yep.
But holy shit. I saw a meme on, I think it was on Facebook, where you see Dak Prescott with Ezekiel Elliott, and you see a sideline reporter holding a microphone to Prescott after the game, and then you see Dak Prescott without Ezekiel Elliott, and you see a microphone being held towards a trash can.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of accurate.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
You've had 2 games as the Cowboys without Elliott, and you've been embarrassed in both.
Yeah.
That's really all you need to know about the Dallas Cowboys.
And the thing is, I've heard so often that the running back is the most expendable position in all of football. Apparently not. I mean, without Elliott, the Cowboys were just crumbling the last 2 games. And I don't expect this to change going forward. So they're looking really bad.
Yeah. And let's not take away from the Chargers either. I mean, it's too soon to tell. I'm not jumping on any Chargers bandwagon by any means. But, they are getting hot at just the right time, second half of the season. So they're playing some good football lately.
Yeah,
No, I'm not really ready to say that yet.
Phillip Rivers had a really good day. 27 of 33 for 434 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
I mean, we all know how it's going to end. I mean, Chargers playing good.
And it's gone.
We all know that's the way they're going to take. At some point, they're going to be bad again.
Oh,
They're
probably.
going back to their old Chargers selves.
Their last 2 games have been against the Cowboys and for a lack of a better word, struggling Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens when they play a team.
Wait. No, the last game was against the Bills with Nathan
Or the
Peterman.
Bills. Yep.
which is, I mean, come on, with Nathan Peterman, who threw 5 picks. The next game is going to be against the Browns, so they're going to win that one. But then they play the Redskins, at the Chiefs, at the Jets, and against the Raiders. Actually, I mean, if the Chiefs keep on being as bad as they are,
That'll be the one they lose.
yeah, maybe, yeah, maybe the Redskins. That to me right now looks like pretty much a 50-50 game, maybe with a slight advantage towards the Chargers, but that's one they could lose. But they're going to beat the Browns, they're going to beat the Jets, and pretty much the Raiders too. Redskins and Chiefs might be the two games back to back where they might struggle a little or a bit more against the Chiefs. But actually, that schedule looks like after their 0-4 start, they could actually make the playoffs.
Regardless, if they make the playoffs, it's one and done.
Yeah,
Obviously.
probably. Yeah, probably. All right. So now we come to the Thanksgiving night game. I confused a few out in the chat. I think I confused you guys too. The one played at night, Giants 10, Redskins 20.
The Giants are back to being the Giants.
They are who
After
we
they-
thought they were.
Yeah. After they beat the Chiefs, somehow no one can explain it. They're back to being the Giants. They're back to be who we thought they'd be.
I mean, I don't even really think they won that game against the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs lost that game.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately everyone lost in that game. Like, it's just that the Giants lost less. So they somehow get a +1 in the W column, but apart
They
from
get
that,
they get the win. They don't get the credit.
yeah. On paper they won. In reality, everyone lost. But I mean, look at Eli Manning's stats. I mean, if you've ever seen someone where you think at some point he's really bench worthy, those are stats where I think, come on, like 13 of 27 for 113 yards and a pick.
That's Eli.
You can't just brush. And it's not even mediocrity. It's sub mediocrity. You can't just brush that aside by saying, it's Eli.
Okay, let's
That's
be
what
a
he
little
does.
fair here. He has one target in Evan Ingram.
That is true enough.
Now, I am by no means an Eli fan. I think he's been crap for the past few years, but he's got nothing to work with this year.
If your quarterback is dependent on your receivers, you might want to look for a new quarterback. I'm just saying.
Wait, what? Wouldn't all quarterbacks be dependent on their receivers?
Good quarterbacks can make receivers look good.
But they still depend on a receiver.
Okay. That's not what I mean by dependent, okay? You got to remember I'm German. This is not my native tongue, okay? Come on. Like, obviously, every quarterback is dependent on their receivers, but if you play shit when you have mediocre receivers, or
You're
even...
running-
Yeah?
You're running fourth string receivers. What do you want him to do with fourth string receivers? Against first string DBs.
I don't know, maybe get above 50% completion to start with?
Well, they have
And
to
we're
catch
talking
the ball.
about 50%. We're not talking about 60. We're talking
What?
about 50% right now.
What J-Kid is saying, though, they have to catch the ball first.
Yeah, but Eli has to throw it in a way that they can catch it, you know?
Well, I've always been a believer that I wish there was a stat of, and there are on some sites, but, you know, instead of palming all the misses off on the quarterback, you know, account for dropped balls when you make those stats. Because
drops are a statistical value, pretty much. I mean, you can easily find that.
right. But what I'm saying is when they give like for instance, Eli in this was 13 of 27. Maybe an asterisk there or something like that. Because I've watched a lot of games, and especially, being a fan of the Colts, I've watched a lot of games where the quarterback gets it there, especially this year, and receiver drops it. So I'm with him. I mean, I'm not an Eli fan either. I understand what he's saying. But if you've got scrub receivers, there's only so much you can do. It would be interesting to see how many of those missed balls were dropped and how many was on Eli, is the thing. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I do understand that. I give me a second. I can look that up. It takes a bit of research, but we can do that. So where the heck?
Wait, scrub receivers? Are you referring to Keenan Allen, Travis Benjamin, Antonio Gates?
Oh, you talking to Monk?
Yeah.
Okay, why the heck is that not showing? Oh, they're only counting the... Wait, no, huh? What? That is very... Okay, oh, they're not showing the drops for single games. That is shit, okay.
See you, Corey. Have a good night, bud.
Okay, yeah, so you can only find the drop statistics for the whole season so far. You can't find it for single weeks, which I admit is kind of shit, and they should use the receiver drops some more. But yeah, that's... Oh wait, oh okay. Trying to find something here, but yeah, not working.
Yeah. Well, I think regardless, we can all agree that there's probably a pretty good chance Eli gets replaced next year. Or at least they pick up his replacement.
Yeah, I mean, it would be the best for the Giants at this point. And Monk just sent both of us on Twitter, Bloodwing, the receiving stats by Fox Sports with the drops. But again, that's what I said. It's for the whole season. It's not for one game, unfortunately. So that doesn't help us all that much. And again, I mean, okay, maybe it's a bit unfair to take Tom Brady as an example, but Tom Brady's receiving core most of the time wasn't that good either. I mean, if you look who are the Tom Brady's receivers with the most receptions or touchdown receptions or whatever from him, you see that there are guys... I have to look this up. Give me a second. There are guys like Deion Branch, Daniel Graham, Ben Watson, hey, Troy Brown. Like, what the fuck you're telling me?
The only person you mentioned there that wasn't good was Graham.
You want to tell me Deion Branch and Troy Brown were really good receivers?
Yes.
Bullshit. Like, he had Gronk. Obviously, Gronk is his favorite target overall. He had Randy Moss for quite some time. He had, Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, Aaron Hernandez. When he played, he was a very good tight end, very talented. But come on, Tom Brady doesn't need a single good receiver on the field to throw some touchdown passes and win games.
False.
All right. You do you.
All right. That's enough of that. That brings us into our picks for next week. First up on the agenda, Browns at Bengals.
I mean, I wouldn't want to watch this.
No.
Like,
I got a
really
feeling it's
not.
going to be a really ugly game.
Oh God, this is
But Browns lose another one.
obviously Bengals win.
I've been saying that if the Browns win a game this season, it's going to be against the Bengals.
Yeah, come on, go ahead and pick against us and be wrong as most of the time. I'm still contesting. I didn't find the time to check it, but I'm still pretty sure that most of the time you pick against us. I mean, just because it happened once this week and once last week or so, doesn't mean it's a rule. So go ahead, pick against us, pick the Browns.
Do they play the Bengals later, or have they already played them once this year? Do they get the Bengals at home later?
I don't think so. I think they've already played one game. But I look it up. Give me a second. No, they've already played them in week 4.
So they lost to them at home.
They're 0-10. Chances are they didn't win. I mean,
Dang it.
And
Like, I want to pick the Browns. Not
the
going to.
The thing is, they didn't just lose; they lost 7-31.
I made the pick.
So
What
He's
did you
picking
say?
the Bengals. He's going with us.
The Bengals.
Pussy.
Okay, next up, Panthers at Jets.
Panthers.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
Panthers.
I have to look it up. Where the heck is this game? What the heck? Where can I find it? I'm stupid. Yeah, Panthers.
Yeah. Titans.
But
go
give me
ahead.
a second.
Go ahead.
It might be closer than we expect.
Okay.
Just putting that out there.
Titans at Colts.
Go ahead, Bloodwing.
You know I'd love to pick my Colts, but I'm not entirely stupid, only partially. They've had a bye week. They should have been able to rest up and so forth, and they have been playing better ball in the last couple of weeks, but no, Titans.
I'm taking the Colts.
Yeah. Like I said, they've been playing better ball the last couple of weeks.
And Tennessee's been playing crap ball.
Yeah.
That will ultimately show that if you pick against both of us, J-Kid, you're wrong. Titans win. Yeah, but I want to address what Six just said in chat. Titans won't win big, but they will win. Yeah, that's how I see it as well. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think the Colts will ultimately, as they always do, find a way to lose.
Yeah. We've had so many games this year where it's come down to the last few minutes of the last quarter. There's a couple that didn't, but for a lot of our games came down to the end. We've had what? Is it 3 overtime games now this year?
Feels like 10.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
It'll come down to
feeling.
Marco and Derrick Henry.
2 overtime games. Cardinals and 49ers.
I thought it was 3, but that was because I was for sure they were going into overtime and
with
they
Pittsburgh.
didn't. Yeah. But yeah. Buccaneers at Falcons.
Falcons.
Yeah.
Come
on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. Yep. Dolphins at Patriots.
I think the Dolphins have a better chance with Jay Cutler being out.
I'm gonna go with a surprise pick. I'm
No, you're
gonna
not.
say what?
I said no, you're not.
I'm gonna say Patriots by 30.
I was gonna say, not even you're that dumb.
I think Patriots by 30 is kind of a surprise pick. I mean, sure, you would give the Patriots like 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, but 30 and more?
I don't know that they will. I'm not sure that would be my pick, but I can't say that it would be out of the realm of possibility. It is at Patriots. We are talking the Dolphins. Yes, they got a better chance with this quarterback, but it's still not a good chance. So yeah, it could happen. But yeah, Patriots definitely.
Yeah, come on. That's about the easiest pick all year. Apart from maybe Steelers Browns, but I think we already had that.
Bears at Eagles.
Same as Patriots and Dolphins. It's just the NFC version.
Not exactly the same, but very close, yeah.
Yeah, I think the Bears are going to get skinned.
Oh, that was terrible.
The Bears still suck.
Hey, well, you can't expect all my dad jokes to be good. Come on.
None of them are.
Aren't they at this point granddad jokes?
Well, there's that too. It's soon to be 10 times over. Oh, it makes me feel old.
You are old. It's not just a feeling; it's fact.
Hey, I'm not even 60 yet, so hush. I have just a tad over 2 years to go.
Wait,
all right.
until you die?
No, until I'm 60.
Well, which is basically the same, but okay.
So yeah, if I wasn't clear, Eagles. Bills at Chiefs.
I mean, with the way the Chiefs were playing lately, I mean, and the thing is, it's still November. It's still Alex Smith's worst time. Oh,
For me, it's on the other side of the ball. Who's playing quarterback for Buffalo?
Taylor.
Okay.
They benched Peterman's ass for good. Probably after 5 picks. Come on. He's not going to play. They benched him mid-game.
Benched him, heck. He's not even allowed on the plane.
Probably. They probably already released him. It wasn't just announced yet.
I still think Kansas City takes this one.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a close game, though.
It's at Arrowhead, which is, even when they're not playing well, is an extremely hard place to win. I think they're going to be super embarrassed after the Giants' loss. Yeah, I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going with what Monk says there. Bill's defense was solid, but Andy Reid. And this is what it comes down to for me as well. Like Andy Reid, I respect this man. I think he's one of the greatest coaches we've seen in the probably the last 30, 40 years. And I think somehow he's going to turn it around, and this is going to be the game where he does it. And the question from Monk in chat: how many passes will Kelsey complete? 0, just as last week.
He completed it just to the wrong team.
that in the statistics, that's not a completion.
I mean, it didn't hit the ground.
Still not a completion.
I think Jay Cutler would argue that.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's Jay Cutler. Come on. Mid-season Tony Romo would argue it as well, but he's not playing, so
He's got to get the Kleenex away from his crying eyes first, where he can take them. All right. Seahawks at 49ers.
Oh, what the heck is this week?
Yeah,
What
Seattle
is
wins.
going on?
Yeah, Seattle wins. Yeah, the 49ers got him a win in, but not this one.
What is this week?
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Really, come on. What are those games? This sucks. This week seriously sucks. From what we heard so far, there's not a single good game. And when I look through, there isn't a single good game. Seahawks by a land mile. Next.
Broncos at Raiders. This
Ew.
landslide, by the way, minding. Just a little English.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, sure. Sorry, yeah.
No, I understand. You probably speak way better English than I do German, which is 0.
Yeah, that's
So,
not a. That's
just
not a
helping you
challenge.
out there. Just helping you out there.
No, you're absolutely right. I mixed it up. Yeah.
Wait, what was the game?
Broncos at Raiders.
Ew.
Not as good a game as you would have thought at the beginning of the year.
Do you know that feeling when you're about to vomit when it's basically just in your throat and you're feeling it? That's how I feel about this week.
See you, product.
Taking the Raiders.
I'm taking the Raiders as well.
Yeah, Raiders. I thought about the Broncos there for a minute, but
Osweiler.
yeah,
Yeah.
but Osweiler.
Simply because the Broncos are I think in English it's called a bottomless pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing. There is no floor to this whole team. Like they can always play worse than you could ever imagine, because that defense isn't there. I mean, the offense is led by Brock Osweiler. That tells you everything you need to know here. So
That's really the only difference for me.
I want to say one thing though. This is a bit of German culture mixed into the NFL. In Germany, we have a not necessarily a meal, but we have a certain food. It's called Bockwurst, and it's basically, how do I describe it? It's a sausage. It's one of the most popular sausages in Germany. It's made from ground veal and pork. It's flavored with salt, white pepper, and sometimes paprika. And it's often smoked. And I like to call Brock Osweiler the Brockwurst, because he's just so bad. Like it tastes nice, but I mean, if you call someone a sausage, they can't be good. So this is kind of a in the German NFL community, this has turned into some kind of a running gag. Brock Osweiler is the Brockwurst. It's just so bad.
Well, I would definitely say he's a wiener, but I don't know about sausage.
Yeah. Actually, a wiener is pretty close to a Bockwurst. It's a Bockwurst is a bit thicker, shorter, but and a bit, stronger. It tastes.
Well, this stream sure went rated R in a hurry.
Oh, come on, no, come on. Why you do this?
Because I can't help myself. Ask J Kid. I can't help myself. It just flows
Trigger
out of
warning.
me. Just flows out of me like a fountain of bad jokes.
I had to throw out that trigger warning there.
Okay. Saints at Rams.
That might be seriously. That might be the best game of the week. Oh God.
It
If
might.
if that's the best game of the week, it's a really shit week.
I mean, not really. One of the top offenses against one of the top defenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, I don't know. No.
I think the Rams bounce back. Take advantage of the Saints defense.
Come on, Jacob, pick the Saints, please.
I am picking the Saints.
You are picking the Saints?
Yep.
Okay, then we're gonna have some more proof that your theory about you picking against both of us is absolutely bullshit because I'm picking the Rams as well.
Now don't jinx us down, minding. Dadgummit.
See, I don't care about this whole jinxing and everything. I'm really not a what's it called, superstitious? Is that the term?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
correct.
I'm really not a superstitious person, not at all. So I don't believe in jinxes or anything. No, I can say it easily, and I'm gonna say it again just so your minds are I don't know how to say this. PG. I think we already went rated R, so I'm just gonna say so that, your minds are fucked. I think since Jake it is picking against both of us, me and Bloodwing, it's an easy choice here.
Now Monk is saying in the chat that Robert Woods is out.
Doesn't change my pick. Still Rams. Off can
Same
throw to
Rams.
anyone.
The same Rams that gave up 24 points in Minnesota, and you have a far superior offense coming to town.
Okay. So Mining and I are taking the Rams, and you're taking the Saints.
Yep.
All right. And I just wanted to point out, by the way, Mining, that you've been taking English lessons today from a redneck. For what that's worth. Okay. Next up, Jags at the Cardinals.
Cardinals suck. Jags win.
Yep, Jags win.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. All right.
We can skip the next one and go straight to the Monday night game.
Not a chance. Packers at the Steelers.
I wasn't suggesting the skipping because I don't want to talk about it. I was suggesting it because we're all picking the Steelers, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Come on. Next. There's no debate here.
Oh, poor Minding has got off the bandwagon.
No. I'm a realist. I know when the Packers are going to lose. So I don't know when they're going to win. I know when they're going to lose.
Welcome
And
to
this
Mining.
this is definitely one of those occasions where they're definitely going to lose.
Welcome to mine and J Kids world.
Next 6 minutes, Jacksonville wins by at least 20 points.
No.
I'm not even sure Jacksonville puts up 20 points.
Yeah. I think it's gonna pretty much look like the Browns game they had. Or was it 19-7 or something? I think it's gonna look similar at least. My guess, if I had to pick a score, would be 17-6.
Yeah, I think it'll be a low-scoring affair. It's going to be on the defense of the Jags, I think.
My
the
years watching
quarterbacks
football, I think that's the first time I've ever seen Jacksonville by at least 20 points.
Yeah. If your quarterbacks are Blake Bortles and Blaine Gabbert, they're not going to score 30 points together. So, done.
Fine, 17 points.
Monday night game. Come on.
I've streamed with the next 6 minutes. He's a good guy. He
Oh
is.
yeah, me too. Just a few days ago.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Next, Texans at the Ravens.
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 Mm-hmm. Yep, we're not disagreeing a whole lot this week.
Yeah,
just a couple.
Because the games are mostly one-sided, and if they're not one-sided, they're two bad teams playing against each other.
Yeah.
In the case of Broncos Raiders, in the case of Browns Bengals, in the case of Titans Colts, it's either a good team versus a bad team, or two bad teams versus each or against each other, with the only exception of Saints Rams.
And lastly, we have the Thursday night game, Redskins at Cowboys. What would have been a classic game once upon a time, not so much now.
I mean, it still could be.
It's at Cowboys?
It's at the Cowboys. It's at Jerry World.
Okay. Close for the Redskins. Otherwise, I would have, if it was at Washington, I would have said easy for the Redskins. Now I said close for the Redskins.
I agree, actually.
Yeah.
That is weird. I now I feel used.
Yeah. So we're all picking the Redskins there.
I don't think Washington has the offense capable of embarrassing Dallas like their last two games.
No, I don't think so either. But I don't think the Cowboys have enough of anything these days to fight off a loss. So,
nope.
Okay. Boy, we shot through those in a hurry.
18 minutes left.
Yeah. So, chat, you're going to have to ask us some questions or give us some things to talk about. So, give them a minute to catch up with that.
All two of you?
I don't know. I rarely watch to see how many are watching at a given time. Actually, my screen is showing 5 viewers.
Oh, I was just going by who's actually talking.
Yeah. But, yeah, as you well know, I don't do this stream for the viewership. I do it because I enjoy it. I look forward to this every week.
Oh, I wanted to say or use one more thing, because I think it works perfectly in the context of the NFL or football in general. I think the Jaguars Cardinals game, I think is the perfect game for this.
You shall not pass!
Monk says in the
Sorry.
Monk says in the chat, Jags win their division, believe me now. And as he mentioned it, I do remember him saying that and us kind of laughing at him way early in the season.
Yeah, look, but if you say something like that, early in the season, you deserve to be laughed at. Okay, if you say it now, good for you. Earned yourself some bragging rights there. But early in the season, come on, you gotta expect to be laughed at for this. The heck.
I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Jacksonville because they've been playing really good ball.
Mm-hmm.
But if Deshaun Watson doesn't go down, Houston still would win this division.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question there. I mean, that kid was on fire. And for some of us, come out of nowhere, and just he took that. He was just the exact right fit for that team. And it's a shame that he went down because I would have liked to have seen what they could have done.
I feel like BG is trying to pick a fight with me. He says, still think it's funny that the German became a regular commentator.
BG, he was the only one that would agree to hang out with two rednecks every week. I'm sorry, but although J Kid does not have my accent, only slightly if you listen close, he still can't deny he's a redneck.
J-Kid is a redneck on the inside. Like you know it every you don't have to listen to how he says things, but what he says.
I'm not ashamed of it.
No, we're not. I'm going to do a stream one of these days outside of my NFL stream on why I'm proud to be who I am, but we won't go there. Next 6 minutes says expected Titans to have a better record. Texans looked better early, but I know how my Texans can trip on their own shoelaces.
Yeah,
that's the thing, though. They didn't trip on their own shoelaces.
Well, Deshaun Watson kind of did.
Yeah, and yes, Monk, you have a point. Their defense is beat up, but the way Deshaun Watson was playing, he completely turned that team around from a defensive team to an offensive team, and I don't think it would have really mattered. I don't see anybody in the AFC South being able to match points with them.
They were putting up enough points that their defense really didn't matter.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
They were putting up Saint-like numbers before he got hurt. And Saints are dropping anywhere between 30 and 50 points every week.
And yes, BG, Minding is an honorary redneck. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to teach him the proper way to say y'all.
Oh God, no. the thing is, I'm not gonna. If it was easily possible, I would change my avatar. I do have a redneck avatar. Well, basically, it's just missing some of its teeth. But I do have a redneck avatar. My earlier avatar also had a redneck version. I think I told that story once before. I'm not sure, but maybe. But but if it was easily possible, I would change my avatar every time we do this stream to this redneck avatar. Just missing some teeth and
just some teeth. Jeez,
yeah,
you don't know my family.
No. I mean, most teeth. It's got 2 left. I mean, in the original picture, the badger has 5, so 3 out of 5 are gone. So the majority.
Hey, what's going on?
And I have to debunk Monk there. We are allowed to have alcohol in Germany. I mean, it's part of the German culture. Come on, we are the country that has cultivated beer. All right. We are the country that invented the purity law, which basically made beer the German specialty that it is today.
Well, I'll give him that.
You can't prohibit alcohol in Germany because that means you would prohibit beer, and everyone would fight you over it.
Well, I always heard that Germans start drinking beer as soon as they're allowed at the big boy table.
Most, yeah. Some even earlier, but most as soon as they're allowed to, they start. Yeah.
So you should be getting close to that then, huh?
That's bullshit! Get the fuck off the phone! That's racist! You're racist! Get the fuck out!
I like that one. I think that's the best one you've done all night. Oh my goodness. Is that Muse or is it MWM Media? Is it Muse or
It's what?
Madwoman Muse?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was her or her husband. So
Okay.
I didn't realize she changed her name. That's what I was asking.
Seems like Steven Crowder entertained the chat there. And yeah, 6 is absolutely right. 4 ingredients. Actually, today, in today's Germany, there are more ingredients allowed in beer because the purity law is no longer in effect. But at the time, purity law said barley, water, hops, and yeast was all that was allowed in beer. Otherwise, if you put something else in it, you were not allowed to call it beer. You can sell it as whatever the fuck you want, but don't call it beer.
What would they call it? An ale? I don't know.
It just didn't happen because if you couldn't sell it as beer, you couldn't sell it at all.
All right, I got a question for you guys, and anybody wants to chime in chat.
Okay.
Obviously, I would say Philly is the cream of the crop in the NFC. If they have a contender, who do you have?
In the NFC?
Yep.
Wow.
That's a good question. If they could get their act back together, I want to lean toward the Rams, but
I was thinking about the same, but then again, they lost badly to the Vikings. So, but you know, I'm not willing to claim the Vikings the number one. How do you say that? Challenger, yeah, the number one challenger to the Eagles. Because I think they are going to drop off towards the end of the season. They tend to do that. Well, that's a tough one. I'm inclined. Yeah, I'm inclined to go with Chad here and go with the Saints. If I don't see any challenger really to the Eagles, I think they are so far ahead that there is not really a team that can beat the Eagles in the NFC. At least right now, we're going to see what happens December and January. But if there was, or the closest to a challenger to me would be the Saints.
For me, it was about the same. I was sitting over here thinking about it before I asked, and it would either have to be the Saints or Carolina. Coming into this week, I don't know if it still holds true after last week, but Carolina had the number one defense.
Yeah.
With the capability of putting up points of their own if Cam Newton played well.
Yeah, if that's the big problem there.
And New Orleans doesn't really need a defense when they're dropping 50 points. Yeah. So it's got to be between one of the two, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Saints with that offensive juggernaut are just I think they are the clear number 2 in that they are definitely not even close to the number 1, and they're not even close to the number 3, I would say. I think the Vikings do have some issues on offense. Sure, they have a very good defense, but I mean they're playing on Case Keenum, so their running backs are Murray and McKinnon. I mean they've been very serviceable so far, but not your household name, you know. Neither of them.
Monk says it's not Carolina. The offense is way too inconsistent, and that's the story with Carolina, isn't it? It's which Cam do you get today?
Yeah. Which is why I'm always so incredibly hesitant to play Christian McCaffrey in fantasy. I traded for him earlier this season, and I was like, okay, do I play him or do I not? Do I play him or do I not? And sometimes it works out just fine, and he scores 2 touchdowns and another 80 yards or something, and I'm the happiest Badger out there. And other times he catches the ball 2 times, runs it 3 times for a total of 0 yards or something. Just thinking, what the heck you're doing out there? Points on the board, damn it! But get some yards at least.
So
but, it's totally dependent upon Cam, and that's what really turns me off of this this offense.
So for the last 4 minutes, why not turn it around? What about the AFC?
Well, who's the number 1 there?
That's my question.
I mean, we were talking about who is the number 2 behind,
Right,
the
right.
number 1 behind the Eagles.
All right, who would you say is number 1 in the AFC?
New England.
Yeah, that would be my begrudging opinion.
I mean, they have been impressive the last this whole stretch of 6 wins in a row. But I'm inclined to go with the Steelers here. I think this offense is it's kind of the same with the. Imagine you don't have the Eagles that you have in the. You don't have any equivalent to the Eagles in the AFC.
No,
There is no team that is so far up ahead. And then you have the Steelers, which are pretty much equivalent to the Saints, high power offense, not a lot of defense. Then you have the Patriots, which are also kind of the same. Just that, well, actually, the Patriots are even bigger in offense and even worse at defense. Like the Steelers at least have, some kind of defense. So, you don't really have a good. Well, the Jaguars are the big defensive team there, but their offense is just too bad, So they would probably come in 3rd in my list, but they're definitely not close to the first 2. So I think Steelers 1, Patriots 2, Jaguars 3.
yeah, I'd have to say Patriots 1, Steelers 2, simply because, well, as we've mentioned, the Steelers have that problem of winning away games. Which,
Yeah, but if you ultimately win the number 1 seed, you don't need to play good away games because nobody cares. Because you're only playing home games until the Super Bowl. So yeah,
I mean, Pittsburgh nearly gave it away to the Colts.
yeah,
That puts
But
New England in the clear for number 1 for me.
in the end, I don't really care about that. In the end, what matters is the W, and they got that. Like even great teams have shit even great teams have shit games from time to time. I mean, the Patriots, who did they almost lose to? Was it the Jets earlier this season?
Did they almost lose to the Jets?
I think they did. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna look it up.
I don't remember.
Yeah, 24-17. I mean, there's one catch by Brandon Cooks in the end zone. I'm pretty sure you have that in front of your mind right now. They almost lost that. If it wasn't for that catch on the sideline in the end zone, that game might have gone the other way. So, yeah, I'm not really like if you go by that, there is no number one because the Patriots also had their game where they struggled a lot against a very bad team. Yeah, and Attack Alpaca, nice name, said even the Eagles narrowly beat the Giants earlier this year. Yeah, every great team, if you're not going like 19-0 in the season, you're bound to have that, almost bound to have that one game against a mediocre or even bad team where you struggle. That's not an argument. Every team has ups and downs. But I think the Steelers are the I think they are the better team over the Patriots. Very narrowly.
Yeah. I think the thing we take away from this more than anything is there's no clear front leader in the AFC like there is in the NFC.
Yeah.
We are at the top of the hour.
But just let me say this, but there's a clear number 3, and that is the Jaguars. Which is amazing. I didn't think I would say that, but
that's yeah. But we are at the top of the hour, so we're going to be closing this down. Look for me later on the Lords of the Night stream. I'll be guesting over on SDA's channel, so go check that out. And
thanks for the interactions today in chat.
Absolutely. We absolutely do appreciate you. Anything else, guys, before we close down?
Yes. Everyone, don't forget to share the stream.
Absolutely. All right, folks. That's going to be it for us today. And as always, get out of my yard.
Bye.
Bye.